And now, here are your hosts, the Schnitzel Boys.
Hey, it's a maple syrupy process. Sorry about. That's all I can do with Canadian voice.
Eh?
Eh?
So you want
A little
to
more Canadian
talk about that whole thing? The two games that we have to talk about. We played
two games. So
the U.S.
while
men's
Germany's
national
resting,
team.
the United States and North America has qualifiers. Africa has its African Cup of Nations. So stuff's going on. Here in North America, we have our qualifiers. It's a weird spot. Usually we never play, I don't think, around this time. Usually it's like Camp Cupcake or something. Mm-hmm. But because of COVID and yada yada, they squeeze some games in this round. So we are playing these cold, frigid games on hard surfaces. The game against Honduras next one. So we have 3 games this window. We had El Salvador at home, Canada, and we got Honduras at home on Wednesday. Now,
Yes.
I have noticed a pattern in these 3-game windows.
Okay.
The pattern is the opening game is very underwhelming. A little bit of a slog, kind of a disappointment, or arguably a disappointment. That's game 1. Game 2 is disaster. Game 2 is like, what? Wow, we were lucky to draw Jamaica. Game 2 is like, we lost to Panama? And game 2 is like, wow, Canada beat us 2-0. That's game 2. Game 3 is 2-0 in Columbus against Mexico. Game 3 is a 4-1 victory over Honduras in Honduras. Game 3 is when they pick up their butts and they're like, all right, let's do it. And this week, unfortunately, has been no different. All right? They had El Salvador at home. And because of Anthony Robinson's sloppy finish in the box right after the half or whatever it was, they got the goal, and that was all they could muster up. They won 1-0 against a scrappy El Salvadorian team captained by Alex Roldan, who is a good player for the Seattle Sounders, and there's a lot of, USL players and stuff, but it's like, you're at home, you're in Columbus during wintertime where it's snowing, you book that to be advantageous to you, and you could muster up a scrappy 1-0 victory. So we got the 3 points.
Does that work, by the way?
No, I mean, I don't. No, I mean, we don't. I guess it makes sense to give yourself a little bit of an advantage, but it's like at the end of the day, just have a comfortable playing surface, and like our players are worth millions and millions and millions of more dollars. The Wertschätzung of those players is through the roof, and it's like just let them play. We should be in like Germany doesn't do that. I know you really can't compare to Germany because Germany is a whole new thing. Europe doesn't really do that. In Europe, it's just a comfortable playing surface, and then you play and just play the game. So I don't know why we want to keep playing games over here. It's a little bush league to me, but it's whatever. That's maybe a discussion for another time. The game on Wednesday, by the way, there's a chance that it'll be the coldest game ever played in professional soccer history. So, there is something to it. We'll see how it goes. I think there's like a tweet with a picture out there where if you're on the field for 8 minutes, you get frostbite. Like it's frostbite style weather.
Because against the mighty Honduras, we have to really do whatever we can to gain every possible advantage. Because how else could we possibly prevail against this juggernaut of a team?
Originally, the early reports that USA Canada was going to be in Vancouver, and then USA and Honduras would be in San Jose or something. And I'm like, that's cool. That makes sense to me. But then I think Canada switched it to give them an advantage, and more power to them. I think it did. Maybe it helped them. I don't know. And then the U.S. moved their games there. And the U.S.'s best support is in the Midwest. The United States is this giant, weird country where soccer fandom is big. You can sell the games. But in a lot of places, like the away tickets sell as good, if not better, than the home tickets. So, that is a thing here in the States. I think the Midwest has been the one region they can consistently count on where that's not the case. Where it's like, in the Midwest, Americans buy tickets and people don't come here because it's too cold or whatever, So that I understand. However, it's also January and February. Yeah.
Very few El Salvadorians in the Ohio area.
That's right. And like, there's another issue here. Not issue, but it's like, for 25 years, MLS fans are just like in the MLS, like the big fans are just like, we can never play through winter ever. It's not a thing ever. Cut to this year where the U.S. national team was like, we're going to play games in the wintertime.
In Minnesota and Columbus.
So if they can do it, that sets precedence for MLS maybe switching to a fall, spring season maybe. Because it's like, well, if they can do it, then it's a thing. You can do it. But that's another discussion for the time. Anyway, so El Salvador, let's just talk El Salvador real quick. I said it was a slog. They should have done better. Whatever. My big thing, I'm just going to have one big note on it. The big note is when the U.S. moves forward, it's like watching them pull teeth for this entire qualifying cycle. And in many ways, also the tournaments over the summer. They've been defensively pretty dang sound. Like Gold Cup, they were defensively very sound. But for whatever reason, they're just not dangerous going forward. Like 60 minutes will go by, and I'll be like, have we had any goal-scoring chances? And it's like, not really. Not great ones, you know. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what's going on up top, but like their forwards aren't scoring. And I don't really blame the forwards as much because it's just like watching them pull teeth. You know what I mean? Like they have the ball, they're maybe a little too slow. They miss the pass, or if they do the pass, it's already too late. And it just you can just see them doing math in their heads when you watch them play. Mm-hmm. That's what I see. And in El Salvador, it led to a 1-0. And in Canada, they went out there hard. They held the ball. They did not give Canada the ball, so that was cool. But it's like, what did they do with the ball? They hung out in the midfield the whole time, and they couldn't do anything with it. You know, Weston McKennie's header off a set piece was their best chance. Mm-hmm. Paul Arriola's bicycle was probably maybe their second best chance.
That was exciting for a second.
Right, and then Ricardo Pepi there at the end also had a chance. He should have passed it, but he freaking waffled it. And it's like, that was it. Other than those three, I mean, what other goal-scoring opportunities were there? In the entire 90 minutes, having the ball for 65% of the time, what'd you do with it? You know? I'm seeing, again, Christian Pulisic running by himself into 8 guys over and over again. And he keeps getting taken. It's like, pass the ball. Or at least someone be there with him, you know? I'm hearing people bring up Gio Reyna. We can't wait till he's back. Gio Reyna did the same thing. When Gio Reyna was on the field, he did the same thing. They take the ball and they want to run the team at themselves. The conclusion that I'm getting is that they're just not running offensive drills or something. They just don't have much of a plan going forward. I mean, I don't know. All I know is that I'm a little confused as to why. I just have no faith in them going forward. It seems like in order for them to score, it has to be off some sort of scrappy rebound, some sort of set piece, or some sort of a defensive sort of turnaround error. I do not see them, like, they don't score goals as a team. They don't, like, work together and make a goal happen and go on up top, you know. Like, I don't know. So I guess I just went on a little rant there. I mean, those are my general thoughts, and then I'll get into maybe some specific sort of player performances in a bit. But anyway, I defer to you. You're not as close to the team as I am passionately.
No, I don't. I had a different.
What do you think about that?
I mean, we were sort of texting a little bit during the game, and I had a very different take on this game. I thought the team played pretty well. I mean, obviously, game states are always a big thing. You know, they fell behind early on sort of a stupid, I mean, kind of a weird kickoff from Matt Turner. And anyway, so 6 minutes in, they're behind. So then obviously it's easier for Canada to sit back. But I thought that I expected this to be a slog, you know, like it's cold, they're in Canada. Mm-hmm. And I didn't think it was that. I think it was, you know, they did pretty well to keep the ball. I thought tactically I was worried about Tajon Buchanan. He's kind of a force on the wing, and I think he usually plays on the right. They moved him to the left, I think, to exploit the matchup with Dest. And I thought Dest did well, and I thought Tyler Adams did well to help him, and I thought the defensive setup was quite good. And I think also with Musa in the midfield, it seems like, and McKennie too, it seems like they're doing a better job. I thought my sense was earlier in the year that they just had trouble moving the ball through the midfield, that they just got stuck in the back. And I feel like has improved with Musa playing more and being in that sort of number 8 spot. And I thought they would get themselves into better positions. And I think that's always, I hear what you're saying about them doing math in their head. I think that's sort of part of the whole Berhalter setup of positional play. You're not that direct. You're sort of waiting. You can feel them sort of waiting sometimes for everybody else to get into the right shape before they're advancing, which is sort of part of the system. And I agree that could happen more quickly and obviously, but I think it's also, like that's sort of part of the process. And to me, it seems I do see improvement. I do see them getting better. And then I think, that's just kind of, to me, that's just kind of how soccer is also to some extent, so you coach to get to you coach to set up the midfield and keep the ball and get to the final third. And then in the final third, it just sort of, is like individual stuff that happens. I mean, that's the same with Man City, sometimes it works. Even the best teams, like even Spain, the sort of the inventors of positional play at their prime, like won World Cups and Euros and everything. They didn't blow a lot of teams away. It doesn't mean you kind of win 5-6-0 every time. So I don't know. I felt like they were improving, of course, while being behind the whole time. So that's obviously a huge caveat that is not, that's relevant. And they didn't really generate anything. I think a lot of that to me is Pulisic just really not being in a good way. And this is not just, I think he's struggles when he plays for the US. He struggles with this sort of hero ball mentality where he feels like every time he gets the ball, he has to do something special, and he dribbles into traffic. But I think also he in his career is kind of at this point where he kind of, has to change his game from, he doesn't have, he's had a bunch of injuries. He doesn't have the explosiveness he used to have. He's not dribbling past people in the same way he does, which really no one ever does for their entire career. This is always, the big dribblers of the world, whether it's him or, Jack Harrison comes to mind, or
Leo Messi is maybe an exception. He actually can pull that off.
Yeah,
and
but not a lot of people.
For US fan, we saw him do that in the last cycle. Back when he was 17, he was doing that.
Yeah,
so but I guess at 21.
But I think you see this in Chelsea too, that he's sort of making this transition. Or he has to make the transition. Has not made it yet, from thinking dribble first to pass first. And I think that's where he's at, just in general.
Who's that on? So I agree with you 100%. It's like we need to do more. But is that on Greg? Is it on Pulisic? Who's that on?
I think.
What is it? Both?
I think it's. I think it's on. It's
been like
it's
that
on
for
both
a
of them.
while now, right? It's been like that for a while. And it's
for the last few games, yeah. Is he gonna sit him? He should not play.
No. I didn't. No, not sit him. Took him off the field. You just, as a team moving forward, you come up with a game. Christian Pulisic a few months ago in an interview said we need more ideas. Nothing about that has changed. And the positional play stuff, I get it, but I would love for them to just change it up a little bit, and then try to do a direct long ball and catch him on the direct sometime. Change it up. Stop being so predictable. Stop having a plan B, And so, like, it seems like when Christian has the ball, he doesn't know what to do. And, if you're the coach, that's on you, right? Shouldn't you be like, it's I understand the players are part of it, but it's like, all right, guys, we're going to practice all these different ideas. We're going to change it up and do that, try to find a way. And if I'm the head coach and I'm seeing Christian Pulisic do that over and over again for a few months now, which I've been seeing, I'd change it up. I look, all right, Christian, when you grab the ball, like they're going to go, like 5 defenders are going to go to him. So we use Christian specifically for deflection. Use Christian specifically to have 2 people be next to him. Have McKennie shadow him, and then maybe whoever Tim Weah or someone, or Ricardo Pepi or someone near him. So when he draws the players that create space, and Christian Pulisic's job is to then let go of the ball right away, not dribble into the players.
But that is
not saying? Like, I'm not a head coach or anything.
But I think you have. I mean, I think it's a lot of it is instinct, right? The way he plays. It's like he had those opportunities. He had a couple of times where I think Jordan Morris, it was at some point, made a run, and he had some options. It's not like there's nobody there. That has never been his strength, to really see that or find those people. So I don't know. You think I mean, I don't know if it's as simple as Greg just saying, "Hey, Christian might passing the ball today." I don't know. I mean, I think it's. I think, and I thought there was a lot of
like, he's running the training. He's like, "Listen, what I'm seeing is this a lot. It's happening. Let's make some adjustments. Let's make choices to prevent that moving forward." Isn't that at the very least something a coach could do? I'm not blaming it all on Greg. I'm not doing the whole Greg out, Berhalter out stuff. What I will say is this window has made me sympathize with those guys a little bit more. Because it's like, okay, like the I think the word of the day is mediocrity. That's sort of the word of the day.
Mediocrity. You beat Mexico 3 times in a row. You won the Gold Cup. You have
yes, but Mexico is the only other team CONCACAF maybe a worse spot than we are. They're a total dumpster fire. They tied 0-0 to Costa Rica the other day.
Also the disrespect to Canada. This Canadian team is very solid, even on paper. I don't see, like,
as
you
a
thought.
Fan, I agree with you. Canada's great. Mexico is whatever. But other than Mexico, who have we beaten that's a challenge? Nobody. We tied Canada at home. We lost to Canada in Canada. And Canada is a good team. I'm not saying they're not.
Beat Canada in the Gold Cup, right? Earlier this year.
Well, I think we beat them in the Nations League. Did we beat them in the Did we beat them in the semi? I don't remember. I think we beat them maybe a little earlier.
I believe so.
But again, so yeah, I mean, you're right. Of course, like, you can't win them all.
Well, I think there's
fourth.
I think there's 2 things going on that can all, how I advocate. You
abdicate the throne.
I abdicate the throne, and I advocate for nuance, right? I don't like the sweeping statements, the one size fits all. I think a lot of things can be true here at the same time, right? I think Greg is an idealist. He has a philosophy very specifically, and he says he wants, he said these things. He wants to change the way the world looks at American soccer. He has high goals, and to transform a whole country from like, we're going to defend our asses off and then try and hit on a counter or get a goal on a set piece, to like this sort of positional play. That is a huge thing. That is not a small. It's not a small effort.
He's also doing that without calling in his best players too, which is a really cool handicap because himself.
Okay.
He's like, okay, like Jesus Ferreira, fail.
I didn't think he was so. I don't think Ferreira was so bad against El Salvador. I thought he was.
I would love for Jordan Pefok to give him a chance or come off the bench. He's not on the bench. Miles Robinson did not look good on either of those 2 goals last night. John Brooks, not an option. He's in Germany. Anthony Robinson's been playing great. Sergino's been playing great. So Scally talk doesn't make sense. But it'd be nice if Scally was an option coming off the bench. You think to yourself, I don't know. You just think to yourself, I'm just, okay, Jesus Ferreira is starting. He gets technically assisted the 1 goal, right? Because it bounced off him before it went over to Jedi Robinson, Anthony Robinson. And then there you go. That's his contribution. And then you're thinking, why isn't Ricardo Pepi playing? He's the only number 9 that has scored for the U.S. in the entire qualifying cycle.
But he has not scored he hasn't scored in the last 12 hours of game time. Pepi.
Yeah. So your response is to not give to let him. he's like in the Bundesliga. He's been fine. First few minutes, almost scored, didn't get it. Next game, a lot of positions, doing really well, almost scoring again. And then the third game, he was taken off for stuff unrelated to him. He was taken off for a tactical switch, which ended up totally backfiring. So I think it's unfair to be like, oh, he's not scoring. He's learning a new club. He just moved. He's getting, but he's our most offensive and dangerous player going forward. I mean, when was the last time Jesus Ferreira scored?
I'm not ragging.
Since he scored?
I'm not ragging on Pepe. Everything you're saying is true. People rant and rave about Greg and the selection, and then the people you're offering. It's like, okay, I mean, yeah, maybe that guy Jordan Pefok is like, he's the knipser. Like, I mean, maybe he's on a good day, but these are not obvious. I don't think these are obvious.
Jordan Pefok, essentially, like the last time he played for the U.S., it wasn't the best, but that wasn't really his fault. He was the dude up top. The game right before that, he came off the bench and scored the winner against Honduras. And that was the last time he played for the U.S. So it's like he has proved that he is good and he belongs. And he scored. He also proved he scored. And in Europe, he's scoring. He has more. I think he's got 16 goals or something. He has more goals than every other American player in Europe combined.
In the Swiss league, yeah.
It doesn't matter. Swiss league, whatever. He's scoring. He's scoring in the Champions League, man. He's scoring against, and at the end of the day, like,
I'm not saying he shouldn't. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve a chance, but it's not so. I don't think these are. I mean, and I will even concede that is one of the downsides, and that's why a lot of people might say that this whole idea of cultivating a positional philosophy on a national team is hard because you don't get as much time with these people, and
right, it's a club.
And I think it does. Hamstring him a little bit in the sense that he feels more loyal to people who know the system more and is not as flexible, blah, blah, blah. But I think also it's not like, he's leaving out these obvious, I mean,
it's not huge.
It's not a huge difference. And a lot of times, like a lot of the time, the U.S. men's national team fan, kind of has the fantasy of the player more so than the actual player. The people that we haven't seen much of, we think, oh, this guy's definitely better, and then they play, and then they're also just
Brooks Lennon over Joe Scally. I don't know. I don't think there's much debate about that. I'm sure Brooks Lennon had a good camp. He's throwing the bone.
I'm not going to argue about
that. So when you look at that, it is a little weird. And you're like, the World Cup starts in 10 months. So it's soon. A lot can happen in 10 months. But still, it's just 10 months. So, I mean,
Well, Eric Ronaldo wants to burn it all down. He wants Jesse Marsh to take the job. He thinks the selection is bad. Everything is.
Yeah.
I just think. Yeah, I don't know. I just think there is.
I think it'd be great.
There's a little bit of respect. There's a little bit of. I think the team deserves a little bit more credit than it gets.
Well, what I will say is people are saying like qualifying for the World Cup and all are two totally different things. So we're still on par to qualify. We might qualify third place or something. We have 4 games left, and of those 4 games, it's at Costa Rica, at Mexico, home against Honduras, and home against I don't remember, Panama or something.
Panama, yeah.
Which are tough games.
But they also, they probably don't need, I think that's probably enough. 24 points should do it.
And they're playing Honduras, but it's going to be the coldest professional game in history. So what's to say it's not going to be a 0-0 draw?
But fortunately, we've maneuvered ourselves back into must-win territory. We go into it in full alarm mode. It's all or
bad
nothing.
News.
Yeah.
We might cancel the game because it's too cold, but if we do, win it, okay? Because you have to. Sorry we did this. Sorry it's not more comfortable. It's like it's Honduras. It's like just play in a comfortable environment.
Yeah.
I
agree. Honduras may not have a coach on Wednesday. Yeah. Their coach sort of. I don't think he's officially resigned, but he was saying how It's not working.
Yeah, he probably looked at the weather. He's like,
but we're missing Tyler Adams is hurt and Chris Richards is hurt. They're both going to be out.
Chris Richards might be seriously hurt. Like, I don't think we've had news, but he might have broken his foot, which would be terrible news for him in Hoffenheim too.
Yeah,
and it would just be bad news for him all around. We might have lost him.
I thought he was good.
Call him John Brooks.
I thought he was good against. I thought he was good in the Canada game for the most part.
Chris Richards is solid. I'm glad he's getting some minutes. So, individual play rate. Matt Turner has been better. Again, his distribution keeps getting called out. And that first goal was him kicking it straight to a Canadian player. Canadian player smoked Miles Robinson, Kyle Larin, and went in there and scored on him. Miles Robinson did not look amazing on both of those goals. You know, he's had better games. Serginho Dest looked pretty solid. I like Serginho Dest. Anthony Robinson, pretty dang good.
I think Jedi is now his official name. I think he
Jedi is his official birth name on the certificate.
Yes.
The MMA midfield doing pretty okay. Moose was a little quiet at some times. McKinney Adams doing well. And then up top, that's where it's like like I said, Pulisic's been better. None of the number 9s could do anything. Tim Weah was pretty okay. He unfortunately had this weird back situation, right?
Oh, you mean Tim Weah against El Salvador? Yeah, he was good. And then
El Salvador.
And then he couldn't get into.
Great.
He couldn't get into Canada. Yeah.
Brendan Aronson was okay, not as dynamic as he's been in the past, but he was okay. I guess.
I thought he did the same. A few times did the same thing as Pulisic of like over dribbling.
Yeah.
And although
almost as if they have no ideas going forward. At least not enough.
I think
any better.
I don't know. I think you're over.
Well, I hope I have seen improvement with this team. I hope they will still improve, and I hope over the next 10 months they will just learn a few more tricks. They will learn each other a little better. They'll be a little bit more dynamic going forward to get ready for the World Cup. That's my wish. It's a big wish, but that's my wish. I still believe they are on par, of course, to qualify. I think it would take an absolute disaster not to qualify. But I'm predicting a pretty fun game on Wednesday. I would say maybe a professional 2-0 win. I was almost on point with my predictions. I predicted a 1-0 Canada victory. It was a 2-0 victory. They got that second goal right there at the end. I predicted a 2-0 home victory over El Salvador. It was 1-0, so I was a little off. I predicted two. They were both 2-0s, or one goal plus, one goal minus, or whatever. And so my prediction for Honduras is I think a 2-0 home victory. I'm hoping for a 3-0 home victory because I'd love to see a little confidence, a little bit of
some goals.
Some goals, a little bravado right before we end the window. And that tends to be our pattern, right? Overwhelming, underwhelming, disappointing, success. So you always leave on a high. And I'm hoping that's what's this time around. And, I'm hoping Christian Pulisic gets out of his head a little bit and figures out what's going on. Maybe he needs to leave this summer, go to a different club or something. We just need Christian Pulisic to relax, get the world off his shoulders. We love you, bud. We think you're a great soccer player. Don't put the world on your shoulders. Just have fun. Just play. The U.S. has a lot of players. You don't have to be the hero. There's a lot of other players that can pick up some slack on that team.
Just pass the ball to Chelsea.
That'll be fun. I'm hoping Ricardo Pepi maybe scores a couple goals in Honduras, gets confidence up, goes back to Germany, and translates that into a goal over there. So I got big hopes for the U.S. So, disappointing, but not a super dire situation. It's just you think with this crew, they could do a little better, and sometimes it feels like 2 steps forward, but 1 step backward sometimes with the national team. So those are my thoughts. Do you have any other thoughts or anything?
That's it. I'm looking forward to the Honduras game. I mean, what did I text you before the game? I said, Canada's going to win and Twitter's going to explode.
That's exactly what happened. And give it for Canada. They're a great team. Like, they have a very healthy locker room. They don't have the same quality on average that like the U.S. Mexico has, but they are playing very confidently, and they are playing like they've got no tomorrow, and they've got nothing to lose, and they are playing like a team with a capital.
Yeah, they
team.
don't have the same burden of expectations either. Everything is
loving it.
Everything's a
I
bonus.
love the gray sweatpants that Milan has.
Man,
so just real quick, all Eastern European goalkeepers wear those sweatpants. It's like a regular. The Hungarian
with the
dude,
purple,
what's the Hungarian name?
With the purple socks too.
Right? Was that? Oh well, I don't know. Maybe the purple socks is a Milan Borod special. But any Eastern European goalkeeper is 45 years old and they wear gray sweatpants. Those are sort of the rules. So Milan Borod isn't this great revelation from wearing sweatpants. It's like, yeah, he's from Serbia. That's what they do. They wear gray sweatpants.
He is a saucy goalkeeper, that guy.
And he had a great performance.
He delivered. Yeah, that Weston McKennie header I thought was going in for sure.
Yep, that was a legit save. Probably the only one he had to do that whole game, but still a pretty solid save. So more power to the Canadians, the Canucks. I wish you the best. I hope you.
We got to make sure that's okay to say.
Well, I'm sorry if it isn't. I apologize. My friends up north, my brothers up north, the Great White North, brothers and sisters, and queens in between. And if I don't want you just to go to Canada, I don't want you just to go to Qatar. I want you to get to the quarterfinals, my friends. You can do it. Surprise! People haven't. You've been quietly becoming one of the best teams in the Americas, and no one's noticed yet. You can go to Qatar and do a freaking smash and grab and go in there. And
all right.
You know what? You know who they would be drawn with? Canada would probably play Germany. I could see Germany and Canada in the opening group, and maybe Canada gets a tie or pulls off a win over Germany. That's my crazy prediction. 10 months' time, Canada will beat Germany. Or it'll be like a 1-1 tie or something in the group. That's my
Niklas Süle will up his Wertschätzung of Kyle Aaron.
Yeah, he's playing for West Bromwich Albion at the time. Because they pay more than any of the
with Daryl DK. Süle and Daryl DK will be on the same team.
How would DK have done? The good thing that I look forward to in the next window is maybe Josh Sargent can maybe slowly be reintroduced and he can offer a little something up top.
This is what I read a lot today on Twitter. People, the people are like, "Oh, Greg he picks the wrong people," and then it's like, "Okay, who do you got?" And it's like Josh Sargent. It's like, come on.
Yeah, he's Josh Sargent. If he scored those 2 goals a week beforehand, he would have been in the roster. But he scored it right when it was already too late. But hopefully some hope with him. He's going to start scoring moving forward. Knock on wood. Matthew Hoppy's finally healthy and playing again. Hopefully we get him on the field, start scoring. Knock on wood. Ricardo Pepi's going to start scoring goals in Augsburg. Right. Knock on wood.
Josh Pifok is going to
wish lists. A lot of wish lists for.
His name's Jordan, right? Not Josh. Jordan Pifok.
Jordan Pifok was linked to go to Venezia.
He's going to continue to keep scoring. Yep. But now Nani.
What if Jordan Pifok goes to Serie A and keeps scoring? Right, and we can't overlook him then, right?
I don't have anything against him. I just don't think, he's not Robert Lewandowski either.
No, but no one's Robert Lewandowski.
No,
not even Erling Haaland's Robert Lewandowski.
But that's the thing. It's like everybody's blaming Greg for us not having Robert Lewandowski, or for the U.S. men's national team not having Robert Lewandowski. That's not Greg's fault.
Yeah, that's Brian McBride's fault. We need to be better with our academies and have better coaches.
All right. On that note.
That was just the Schnitzel Boys video on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. If you like that one, we've got a couple other ones right over here. And if you like that one, don't be afraid to subscribe, like, and ring that bell.
It's the Schnitzel Boys. It's the Schnitzel Boys.